My name is Hilary Godwin, and I'm a professor in the UCLA Fielding School of Public Health and the Institute for Environment and Sustainability at UCLA. I've been with the UC CEIN since it began in 2008, and I have oversight responsibility for our education and outreach activities within the center, and also do work on high throughput screening in bacteria. Our outreach activities within the UC CEIN encompass work with diverse stakeholders, translating the science that's going on within the center so that it's accessible for different audiences. We have a particular focus on reaching out to policymakers and regulators so that the policies that are being developed both at the local level and also at the national level on regulation of nanomaterials reflect the most current science. One of the most impactful activities that we've done recently in our outreach program is to run a workshop for diverse stakeholders on alternative testing strategies and how they might be applied to decision making for engineered nanomaterials. We had participants there from industry, from government agencies, from pharmaceutical companies, from academia, all discussing whether or not there were new technologies or new approaches to testing for the safety of nanomaterials that could be used in a variety of different contexts to help people make more informed decisions. And the outcome of that project is a publication, a workshop statement that will be appearing in print. One of the big benefits of our outreach activities is helping legislators and policymakers understand what are the latest scientific advances within our field. Just over the 5 years that the CEIN has been active, we've had tremendous advances in terms of our understanding of the toxicology of nanomaterials and also the development of rigorous methodologies for being able to understand which materials we should be concerned about and when further testing is needed. So being able to convey that information to policymakers so that they can make decisions that are based on that most recent science is really, really important. The UCCEIN conducts a variety of different projects related to both formal science education and informal science education that's informed by the science that we do within the center. Those type of activities range from activities such as running nano days at our local California Science Center, where we have hands-on activities and we have several hundred kids and their families come through each year and do hands-on activities and learn through exploration about nanotechnology, to much more formal science education activities. For instance, the development of an online course about nano-ecotoxicology that's been used by people not just across the United States, but globally as well. One education activity that I'm particularly proud of because it was developed primarily by an undergraduate science major here at UCLA is the development of a science fair project platform in collaboration with an organization called Science Buddies. Science Buddies reaches literally millions of kids nationwide. They have validated projects that kids can pull from to start their science projects. So they don't obviously do the complete science project for them, but it gives them a starting point that they know will work and then allows them to explore that. And one of our wonderful undergraduates, Christine Truong, developed a project that's actually based on science that's been developed in the UCCEIN. It's looking at the impacts of silver nanoparticles on bacteria and how those particles impact the growth of bacteria. It really parallels studies that we've done and are still conducting inside the center but it provides a way that middle school students or high school students can explore that and have that same exciting sense of discovery and learning that we have as scientists at the bench as part of their science fair project. I feel like it's really important for us as an NSF and EPA funded center to make sure that we're reaching out to the broader community, not just to the scientific community or the people who directly use our science, like policymakers, but also to reach out to the general population and make sure that we're giving back to them. Our work is sponsored by taxpayers and is supposed to be for the benefit of society. And we do a lot of things that are really important in terms of the future of new technology and how that's going to promote growth, economic growth within the United States, and insights into how to do that sustainably and in an environmentally friendly way. And it's just wonderful to be able to bring that knowledge down to the level that's appropriate for kids who are in K through 12 education or their families or people at our local library. So for me, that's some of the most rewarding work that we do, is that reaching out to the general population and informing them about how their taxpayer money is being spent and what the latest, coolest science is. My training was as a chemist. I have a PhD in chemistry, and for the first 10 years of my academic career, I was actually a professor at Northwestern University in the chemistry department. At Northwestern, we had one of the first nanoscience and engineering centers, and it wasn't focused on toxicity of nanoparticles, but at that point I was looking at toxicity of metal ions, such as lead, and because I was friends with the people who were doing the nano research within the university, I got roped into doing some education and outreach work for that center, which I found that I really enjoyed. So it's just very complementary to the science that I do. I was very interested in translating science to different audiences. And so when I moved here to UCLA, one of the big draws for me was that there were not only people who were interested in toxicity of different species, but specifically toxicity of nanoparticles. So it sort of brought together the work that I'd done in terms of trying to understand why some chemicals have adverse effects on living systems, and specifically this emerging interest in nanotechnology.